Okay, well, good Monday morning, Jet fans. Good victory Monday morning, Jet fans. Good Veterans Day. A happy Veterans Day to our veterans, whether any team you're a fan of. It is Monday, 11/11/2019, November 11, 2019. It is early. It is 5:32 a.m. Again, my clock I haven't changed yet in the back. I will change it this week probably once I get back there. But it's early, and the reason why I'm up so early is because I got to bed so early last night. It was a long day yesterday at the game. A fun long day though, but it was a tiring day, and I'll get into that. But before we get into the Jets Giants, and you want to say bragging rights, you want to say winner of the MetLife Bowl, you want to say winner of just this week in New York. Let's look around the league and check out some scores. Um, in a game that really I thought the Chiefs were going to just take in Tennessee. The Titans beat Pat Mahomes 35-32. Mahomes looked really good. Ryan Tannehill led the Titans back and forth, um, and just the Chiefs' defense is not as strong as they need to be at this point, and that could be a big roadblock when they do run into the playoffs. They're 6-4 now. I think they're going to run away with their division. They get a home playoff game. They can still get the home game playoff game, even a bye, but that may be a tough hurdle right now. So Chiefs lose to Tennessee. The Falcons go into New Orleans, and this one reminds me of last week when the Rams beat the Packers. The Falcons go to New Orleans and they destroy the Saints 26-9. Matty Ice, Matt Ryan was back, and they just outplayed the Saints. And that's another team where you thought they had some playoffs in them, and with Dan Quinn and his staff, and he's on the hot seat, and he'll probably be coaching somewhere else next year. But they go into the Saints and they beat them 26-9 in the game. I really thought the Saints were going to just demolish them. Browns, Bills, and this looked like the theme of the day. The Bills, they haven't been world beaters, but they were 6-2. Excuse me. They were keeping up with the Patriots, or keeping pace with the Patriots, who were 2.5 games behind them. Had a chance to pick up some ground this week. They go into Cleveland where there's a lot of turmoil. Um, their quarterback arguing with reporters. A week after they release one of their players for a Twitter rant and threatening fans and reporters, where OBJ is mic'd up, heard by a network saying I couldn't get the ball to my life depended on me. They beat the Bills 19-16. There was a sequence where they had 6 plays from inside the 3-yard line, I think they said, and they couldn't get a touchdown. They couldn't get it in. And it seemed like 4 out of the 6 plays, they forced the ball to OBJ. Just couldn't get it to him. There was a pass interference call. I mean, they had every break going in this sequence. And finally, they were stuffed on a run to Chubb. But in the end, the Browns went downfield. They scored a touchdown, down 16-12 to get it to 19-16. And then the Bills kicker missed a 50-plus yarder. He hooked it to the left, so the Browns win. They go to 3-6. Bills drop to 6-3. Still second place in the AFC. Still the number 1 wild card right now. But they had a big chance yesterday. This is a team they have to win. They have to beat. Ravens just destroyed the Bengals, and the Bengals at 0-9. Right now, will have the number 1 pick. The season ended today. Ravens are the Ravens, and they just destroyed them 49-13. Bears beat the Matthew Stafford-less Lions in Chicago 20-13. The Dolphins, and it was funny yesterday. A lot of Giant fans, all they kept saying, well, how about them Giants? How about them Dolphins? Hey, let's go Dolphins, because we lost the Dolphins. And then somebody just yelled out, hey, how about them Cowboys? Because the Giants coming off a huge loss to the Cowboys, a team that the Jets beat. But the Dolphins, a team that's supposed to be tanking, have been in most of their games this year. Not all of them, a few of them. And the only game they won was against the Jets. Yesterday they beat the Colts 16-12, and that's a big blow to the Colts because the Colts could have went to 6-3 and really had a stronghold on a playoff position. So the Dolphins go down to Indy and they beat the Colts. Steelers. Speaking of wild card, they would have the sixth playoff spot right now, the second wild card spot, as they are now 5-4. Mike Tomlin and his quarterback and his defense, you cannot say enough about what he's done to this team once Ben Roethlisberger went down. A lot can be said that they didn't play a lot of world beaters. They beat the Rams, who are a favorite to get deep into the playoffs this year, as I've been saying every week with the Rams. The Rams had a statement game they could have made. They did not. And Steelers go to 5-4, 17-12. They win. Packers beat the Panthers 24-16, so they bounce back. Last night, now I fell asleep really early. It was really early in the game with the Vikings at Cowboys. I did not like the Vikings to win it out. I thought that with the points, 3.5 points, they could keep it close. The Vikings are really not that good on the road. The Cowboys coming off a huge win on Monday night in New York figured they go back there, they could beat a team that they should beat, a team that they may face in the playoffs, if both of them do make the playoffs. At home, they're the only game on again. They played Monday night, they're the only game on. They played Sunday night. They lose 28-24. The Viking defense just kept, Prescott in check for most of the game. There was one play towards the end. I watched the highlights this morning at 5 o'clock this morning. Fourth down, some time left on the clock, and they ran a route with what I believe it was Cooper, and you can't make that pass. Cooper was covered big time, and the pass is dropped, knocked out, I should say, by the defender. And you have to have more of not an easy play, but more of a play with a high probability of being completed. And I don't think that was the play you call. They did get the ball back with 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock, and Prescott heaved the Hail Mary into the end zone, and it was just picked off by the Vikings. So the Vikings go to 7-3. I'm not taking anything away from them. I just don't think they're a stronghold. I don't think they do well in the playoffs. They may be one and done, but maybe they get a bye and they get to that second round quicker. But they lose. They win 28-24. Cowboys drop to 5-4, and that kind of brings them, keeps them with the pack with Philly. And then tonight, Week 10 rounds off. It's 49ers hosting the Seahawks, and I'll go through that on Wednesday. I'll probably review that quickly. I do like the 49ers tonight. Winning outright, I don't know if I like the points. They're giving 6.5. That's a lot of points, but I think the 49ers are rolling, and I think they make a statement tonight on national TV. All right, so we get to the Jets, and let me tell you, when the Jets win a game, it's nice, but when they win at home and you're at that game, it is really a lot of fun. It is really a lot of fun no matter who you beat. And then when you beat a rival team, and I won't say the Giants are a rival, but when you beat a team that is in the same city and they have the fans sitting next to you and in front of you and walking around the stadium, it is really nice to send them home packing, especially when they're talking like they're 7-2 and they're 2-7 now. Excuse me. Have some dry mouth from screaming yesterday, but this was a week where you lost to the Dolphins, and you thought Monday the coach was going to be gone. It's a week coming off of Adams having a horrible game against the Dolphins, Donald having that terrible interception, the offense looking flat, the defense looking flat, the coaching staff not making the right decisions and adjustments, and it was just a bad week. And then you have, and listen, I do not think Adam Gase is the coach of this team. I don't think he can lead us where we need to be. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because whether I like you or I don't like you, it all goes with how you're coaching and how you're handling the team. I don't like how he's handled the team thus far. But um, there was a plane flying around saying "Fire Adam Gase now." It's somebody else who came from New York who owns a digital magazine, and they did the Fire Idzik billboards back a few years ago. I guess back about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. He has a GoFundMe page up now, and he has the Fire Adam Gase plane going. I do follow him on Twitter, and he says he has. They collected close to about, I believe, $3,000 or $4,000 from a GoFundMe page to get this Fire Adam Gase project going. Now, whether I want Adam Gase here or not, uh, I don't think I could ever contribute money to have a sign fly over New York City or any place. I mean, to me, if I'm going to give money, I'm going to give it to the church. I'm going to give it to a charity. I'm going to give it to somebody homeless. I'm going to buy somebody food. That's where I think money goes. But hey, it's your prerogative. It's your choice. It's your money. I can't tell you how to spend it. In my head, it's just sports is entertainment. Okay, so if you don't like, you know, a certain movie company, you don't like a certain actor, do you go and do you put, billboards up to get these actors out of movies? Do you go and do you protest against MGM films or what have you? Do you go and you protest against Steven Spielberg? I mean, I just don't get it. Um, you choose not to go, don't go, but don't think that you're going to stronghold a multi-million dollar or billion-dollar company and its owners. I mean, yes, Christopher Johnson is not a football savvy person, but um, he owns a team and it's his choice, and it's Woody's team and it's his choice. And Woody Johnson is supposed to be coming back after this presidency run is over. I don't think he's going to be there for the second term under President Trump. But to think you get a stronghold this guy is ridiculous. That you have a say. I just think you know you try to embarrass them. The thing all week was don't go to the games, protest the games. Let me tell you something. The games, number one, the tickets are pre-purchased. If you're a season ticket holder, which I think 90% of the stadium is, your tickets are paid for starting in April. Your parking passes are paid for starting in April. Okay, um, so the tickets are paid for. Your parking is paid for. So even if you don't show up, the seats are filled and the parking is filled, regardless if there's a body of person or car not there. The only thing that suffers is the concession. And I don't think the team gets from the concession. I don't know the deal they made with MetLife. But I do know since the Jets and Giants do own MetLife, a lot of people don't know that. The big thing is, the Giants own MetLife. We just play there now. Both teams own it. They probably do keep the concession as well. Um, so that's where you may hit them a little bit. But more than likely, if you're not going to go to the game, if you're going to protest, go to the game. But that's your right. Um, you're going to give the tickets to somebody first of all, probably for free, who's going to fill that seat. And it might be a first time attendee who takes their child who's going to go to the store and buy uh, a boatload of jet memorabilia, who's going to go to the concession because not realizing what the prices are like and buy lunch and snacks there. And regardless, the team's going to get their money. So thinking that you're not going to show up, who are you spiting? A lot of people say, "Oh, you're crazy. You went to the game." Listen, I got up early yesterday with my girls. We did our Sunday ritual. I went to church. They got ready, came home. We had sideline passes. So we were on the sideline pregame warm ups next to the Giants on the Giants side of the field. Um, and then after that, I met up with some old friends that are big Jet fans and Giant fans, and we bullshitted for a little bit, and then we watched, the rest of the game and went home with a win, and it was a great, enjoyable win. It didn't put us in first place. It didn't give us a playoff. It didn't put us in a bye. It was a nice win. It was a step forward. It kind of broke the monotony of the whole week of what was going on around this team. Um, and I think that's why you go to the game. You go to the game for entertainment and to be with your family. If you want to say on how the team is run, get hired by the team. We're buying their product. If you don't like the product, don't buy it anymore. don't use the product. But don't think one iota that if you don't like Ronzoni, you're going to fly a plane and Ronzoni's going to automatically change the way they make pasta. I mean, it's not going to happen that way. But to each his own. If you have the time and the means and the effort to do it, then maybe I don't agree with you, but it is what it is. So, like I said, we had sideline passes yesterday. Got to the game, and it was crowded yesterday. I have to say the crowd probably was definitely more of a Giant crowd than it was a Cowboy crowd when we played them, and I think it was more of a Giant Patriot type crowd. The Patriots had a lot of representation that Monday night, and the Giants had a lot yesterday, but it wasn't overbearing. Um, I do think if the team was playing a lot better, there would have been more Giant fans there. I think coming off the loss against Dallas, it stopped third-party ticket sales. Um, but even my friends, the two Giant fans, said they bought these tickets early in the season, thinking, all right, we're going to see Giants Jets. It's local, and I said it too when the schedule came out. Giants Jets, second weekend of November. That could be a big game for the Jets. I don't know about the Giants because they had, just drafted Daniel Jones, and you don't know what he's going to be doing. You don't know where the team's going to be. But I expected the Jets to have four wins at this point, minimum, maybe five, and be at that point where maybe they are competing for a wild card. I thought they'd be where the Bills are now, honestly. 5-4, 6-3, and competing, and this would be a game that could really help them catapult and stay within the wild card, but it wasn't. Like I said, we had sideline passes. On the sidelines, you get the not only the plays where you see celebrities walking around and whatnot. On the field, yesterday was Tiki Barber. I think he was doing the game with Fox. I'm not sure. He still looks the same, little older looking in person. So he was there. We saw Marty Lyons doing a sideline interview. And like I said, we were by the Giants side. And we got out there early, and Eli was kind of just in his sweats. They have their warm-up fatigues. And he was talking to a few Giant trainers and Jet trainers on the 50. And Daniel Jones was making some passes, and he can zip the ball. He really can. Barkley, Saquon was there. He was signing autographs on the side before he went in. He seems like a really nice kid. And then when they came out in full pads to do pregame, Eli was warming up, and he was right in front of us warming up. And let me tell you, the zip and spiral he has on his passes is incredible. My girls were amazed by the way the ball spun out of his hand. And then, Daniel Jones had that pass, those passes too. But Eli, you could hear it. I mean, Daniel Jones had a tight spin, but Eli, when he was throwing, you could hear it hit the receiver's hands. In practice. So we had a nice day. It was a brisk day, but it was little overcast, but it was nice. It wasn't windy. It was on the cool side. So we get to the seats, and the Jets score quickly 2 touchdowns. It's 14-0. And you almost don't want to say it's going to be a rout, but it's all right. This may be a rout now. And before you know it, the Jets scored 2 in the first quarter. The Giants scored 2 in the second quarter. But they miss an extra point. I think they missed an extra point. It's 14-13. Actually, I'm sorry, they didn't miss an extra point. It was a botch snap. So they had what they call a fire drill play and try to go for 2 on the play, and they didn't. It's 14-13. And then that's the way basically the first half ends. And, you say, all right, listen, Donald played pretty good. He was hitting Crowder. He hit Marius Thomas a little bit. Herndon caught a few passes. It was nice to see him back. But the secondary for the Jets was getting beat. Golden Tate was just, he's really quick, and he's good with his hands. I saw that in pregame as well. Our DBs were falling down. They couldn't keep up, but they are, you got to remember, 2 just first of all, I think one has never played a game, and he played for Rutgers, and then it's just a whole different speed at this level, and we were getting beat whether they were falling down in coverage, whether they were blown coverages. I think Golden Tate scored one from 61 yards out on a screenplay on third down that just went the distance. So it went back and forth. The Jets were down at one point in this game. Um, and three things I was looking for in this game. Number one, what? Number one, maybe four things. The Sam Darnold bounce back. Is Sam Darnold going to be defined from icy ghosts to losing to the Dolphins last week? And in that stretch, he had 8 interceptions and a lost fumble. Yesterday, Sam did not lose the ball once. He made smart decisions. Um, if the play wasn't there, he scrambled. If the play wasn't there, he threw the ball away. He was when he had to be patient in the pocket. When he was quick in the pocket. There was a few quick snaps and passes where he hit Crowder, where he hit Herndon. He made really sound decisions. So that was really nice to see. He had a few touchdown passes. The next thing I want to see was Le'Veon Bell just excel yesterday. Just have this be a breakout game. And Le'Veon, I don't know if it's the offensive line or if it's Le'Veon being out of sports for the year, but he can't get past that offensive line. And the offensive line is just right now is crap. He had 60-plus yards on the ground. He had 60-plus yards. I don't know if it was all on the ground because he did have a few passes out of the backfield. But he did score a touchdown, and he was untouched. He went from 2 yards out right through the middle. But he did not break 100 yards yet. The third thing I wanted to see was Adams after all the drama from the week before, after having a terrible game against the Dolphins. What was he going to do? Adams had 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 9 tackles, and a touchdown. He was all over the place. And the second half started with the Giants had the ball, and he, I think, turned this game around. Even though the Jets would lose the lead, Adams got to and then show the highlights now, got to Daniel Jones and basically ripped the ball out of Daniel Jones' hand and went like 28 yards for a touchdown the other way. Not even strip him, just took it out of his hands. He also had he had a strip sack early in the first half, but it was recovered by Saquon Barkley. I did want to see how Adam Gase and the coaching staff responded, and they did bench some secondary players and then replaced them. Shepard came in, who missed the first 6 games due to suspension, and then Shawnee Adams played now. He fights through a block off of Barkley and just steals the ball and just walks in. That was just a ridiculous play. And if that's the player he could be, then we need to give him this contract. And I don't know if he wants to be here or not. And he's mouthing, "It's my city." So you gotta love that about him. But it's what he produces. You want to produce it. You just can't be speaking like this when he's not producing. But getting back to Adam Gase and the coaching staff, like I said, they did hold players accountable. Their defense, when they needed it, did come back and play. Donald was 19 of 30 for 230, a touchdown and a rushing touchdown, passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown. The one thing that I'm going to critique, and maybe it's easy to critique now, is in the first I guess it was the first half, Bilal Powell goes in to spell Bell, and I'll take that. I don't care. Bell can't play every down, and I like Powell's speed. So everybody feels all right. Powell's coming in, it's a handoff. He gets the ball, it's a flea flicker. Okay, they finally turned the page in the playbook. And he gets the ball back, and Sam now has some time to step up, and he throws the ball downfield and overthrows Vincent Smith. When you design this play, Why is Robbie Anderson not the intended receiver? And if, now I don't know, maybe he's covered or not, but Robbie Anderson should be the go-to receiver. And if not, there has to be an underneath play because it was such a well-designed play. It caught the Giants off guard. Sam had some time, and then he wanted to go for it all. And I give Sam the credit; he went for it all at 2 and at 1-7. Why not? But Robbie Anderson has to be the intended receiver on that. That's my first critique. Second critique: late in the fourth quarter, Jets have 4th and 1, and they're going to run it, and they do run it. And Bell is stuffed about 1.5 yards short of the line of advancement. And the offensive line now grabs Bell and they start pushing him. And they get closer. They get what I think they got to the line, maybe a hair short. And they call it a turnover on downs, so don't make it. Goes to a TV timeout, which means the people upstairs in the Jet boxes, the coaches, the reviewers, can see if they got it or not. They come back from TV timeout and they throw the red flag. They are going to review it. They're going to challenge it. They showed up on the screen, and I'm saying he's close, but you can't tell where his knee hits the ground and the ball crosses a line or whatnot. So it's inconclusive. Comes back, play stands. So they lost a timeout, they lost a challenge in the fourth quarter. And this is when they're up by 7. Okay? Very next play now, the Giants get the ball. Very next play, Jones is slammed as he's releasing the ball. His arm is coming forward, but he's getting hit by his own player from a defensive player as well. And the ball falls out of his hand. Now his arm's going from his ball falls out. So is it the force of the throw? Is the ball tipped away? Well, first they call it a fumble, and basically that should be game over. Then they say whistle it, and they say no, hand going forward. Adam Gase challenges that play. Now, okay, if he gets it, he looks like an evil genius. But if he doesn't get it, it's you blew 2 timeouts now, and now you're out of challenges. Which at that point may not have been terrible amount of challenges because it would have been close to 2 minutes anyway, and everything is reviewed. But I just didn't like that sequence of calling. After a few minutes, they came back. They said no, the play stands. Giant fans at this point thought that the game was going to be turned their way. I got a little nervous, but it wound up that we stopped them on downs. And then we get the ball back at the 2-minute warning. So you have these 2 timeouts called with the challenges. You have the 2-minute warning. You got to go 10 yards and put the game away. They pick up 2 on the ground because they're running it. And Le'Veon Bell's on the sideline, and there's Bilal Powell. Why do you have him in the game when you need to pick up 10 yards? Now, I know Bell has not broken the big one yet, but you got to think that Bell is the guy that has to be out there. Protect the ball, pick up the first down, what have you. So those are my 3 critiques. Another thing that stood out was, and I'll go back to Sam Darnold, first drive of the game, they come downfield, and they're inside the 5, and everybody's thinking run, and Sam had a read option play, and he read the defense, he saw how they were lined up, he saw the formation, and he did a play action to Bell, and we were actually standing at the end of the section where we sit, play action to Bell, and everybody, the stadium and all the defenders went to Bell, and Donald just kind of rolled to his right and waltzed in. And it was a great play design, a great play call. So those are my critiques. The Jet defense came to play yesterday as beat up as they were in the secondary, as beat up as they were at defensive backs. They held the Giant running attack at bay. I thought Saquon was going to have a big game. He had 1 yard rushing, on 13 attempts. Sam Darnold had 25 yards rushing, and I think he picked up like 24 of them on one run. So that's the difference. Um, I don't like Pat Shermer or Adam Gase is running these teams. I think Shermer has a bigger chance of being let go this year, only because he'd have maybe 14 games with Daniel Jones. So changing a coach right away may not do anything. I mean, they did that with Sam last year, and right now he's hurting. But I think it's a coach they brought in. I do think Adam Gase finishes this season. I don't know if he's back next year. Like I said, you're not going to bully the Johnsons. You're not going to bully Joe Douglas, but it may open their eyes a little bit. Who's going to be available? I don't know. I doubt Mike McCarthy will come here because they didn't hire him last year, but Joe Douglas may call him. Dan Quinn is getting fired from Atlanta. I mean, he did bring this team, up. But again, we can't get into that. The final score yesterday was 31-24. The Jets won. And after that whole debacle with the 2-minute warning and putting Bell in, they actually had a punt to the Giants. And the Giants got the ball back with, I think, 26 seconds left. And we got to Daniel Jones late again. And on the last play, they tried to do the hook and ladder, and they caused a fumble, and the Jets pounced on it. And it was nice to walk out with a win. It was nice to be able to say, I mean, you don't get upset when you're 1-6. You're not as anxious watching the game, but you want to see them win because you don't want to read the negativity and all the tweets and all the bashing. Excuse me. Damn allergies are killing me. But anytime you win is good. It's a step forward. And that's what we did yesterday. We did beat a team that won 2 games prior. We did beat a team that has lost now 6 in a row. And I think we take a lot away from their headlines because Gase is on the hot seat. And the way Donald has regressed this year a little bit, the way Bell is not being played the way he should be, the way Adams has been beaten a few games, we have been taking a lot of the back page headlines. But the Giants are just as messed up. They are not a good team right now. I don't know. I'd love to see Daniel Jones and Sam Donald run this town for the next 10 seasons. That'd be wonderful. I thought I had that with Sanchez. Excuse me. Back in 2009, you have Eli coming off a Super Bowl win. The Jets came off the Brett Favre season, and you have Sanchez AFC Championship game. Sanchez AFC Championship game. Giants win the Super Bowl, and you're like, wow, you have Sanchez and Eli Manning in the same city, in the same stadium, but it never developed that way. And, I'm not one to say let's quickly go draft another quarterback. Sam Donald yesterday showed me he can bounce back. Now, yes, again, he played the Giants, a team who's really just as bad or just as good as the Jets. But he played the Dolphins last week, and he made these dumb mistakes. Yesterday, I have to say, if I had to say rate the team out of 10 yesterday, they were an 8. They weren't perfect. They missed another field goal. A lot of field free, what do you call catches on punts, fair catches on punts. But they put together some nice drives. The defense bent and didn't break. They did get beat for some long plays. It has to be buttoned up, and that'll come when I get some better DBs back there. Jordan Jenkins is a beast, and you can tell he just loves playing. He said it was, we took over the city. We're not the little brother. It's not their stadium. And then he gave a shout out to his friend Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams used to call himself Big Cat. Jordan Jenkins, that was my little brother. That's Little Cat right there. So, and then Jordan Jenkins came out after the game. We all waited after the game to meet some players. That's what we usually do. He came out. He signed for everybody. He was so happy. I actually mentioned the Little Cat. referral he made, he was like, yeah, that's a little cat, you know. Jamal Adams came out, was not going to come over, and then came over. The one thing I have to say is he did not say 2 words to anybody. I don't think he gave anybody any ammunition, to take out of context, even though it was just fans. He took 2 selfies with my girls, and then he went on his way. Um, all in all, it was a nice day. It was a long day. I have to say I was beat. I don't know if it was the cold. I don't know if it was standing on the sideline so long, but it was a long day. So it was dinner. I started watching highlights. I started watching the Cowboy game, and then I was asleep before the first quarter of the Cowboy game ended. And so, I was asleep by maybe 9 o'clock, and that's why I started this at 5:30 this morning. So, Jets win 31-24. They get to 2-7. They have Washington on the road this week. A game they should win, but we'll discuss that later on this week. We'll do also Jets bonus coverage on Wednesday. We'll go over some news on the team as we get to Wednesday, the state of the team, anything that's been updated. Again, today is Veterans Day, 11/11/19. Thank you to all of you who served. Thank you to all of you who continue to serve and protect us. I said it on Friday's video. My father, my grandfather, both of my grandfathers, my wife's both grandfathers, my great uncles. They served in World War II. My father was in the Navy right after the Korean War. My brother-in-law was in the Navy right right after Desert Storm. I had a cousin who was in the Army. Thank you to all who served, no matter what branch of the service you were in. Yesterday, we at the game they had a lot of service men and women on the field and around, and my girls and I thanked whoever we saw. We got some high fives from them. So thank you. And go Jets. Enjoy the victory Monday. I can't wait to listen to some sports talk radio this morning. Should be interesting. And Twitter, of course, the people who are supporting, Gase getting fired. Just listen, I know what it is. We're 2-7. I don't think Gase is the man, but you know what? I'm going to enjoy the day and the win the way I enjoyed the day with my family yesterday. It was a day out with my girls, a day doing something that we enjoyed and something that is part of us, and that's why we do it. So happy Veterans Day. Enjoy your day off if you're off today, and enjoy the win. Check us out, www.nyjetstories.com, www.nyjetstories.com. Facebook, NYJet Stories is our Facebook page. Twitter, @NYJet Stories. And, of course, on this YouTube channel, Alex Pazziali, NYJet Stories.